Well, I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. I do have to make a weather video for tonight, just talking about the low humidity we had today. And we're going to look at some of that low humidity for tomorrow as well, because there's a little bit of, when the humidity gets that low, even though we had the rain, the ground dries out very, very quick. And that's always a concern. So it was a very warm day today. Temperatures right now are in the mid 50s, mid to upper 50s, 54 at Islip. West Hampton's down to 42, however. It looks like it's low 50s, low to mid 50s along the Jersey Shore. And LaGuardia is still 65, as well as my alley. That's 62.8, so my alley's still pretty warm. And I still got to run the air conditioner, of course. So I'll just go over the highs on this map here, and you'll see highs were in the upper 70s today across Long Island, quite warm. There was a sea breeze later on in the day, and that resulted in some very low humidity levels. The North Fork, though, seemed to have some a little bit of a Long Island Sound breeze. Upper 60s for highs there, upper 70s in the city, and 81 at JFK, so that's pretty hot. 82 out in the Pine Barrens west of Toms River, so and that resulted in some really low humidity. You have a big range in temperatures. Lows were around 50 this morning, except 39 in West Hampton. Sadly, I still had to keep my AC on. Low got down to 43 in the Pine Barrens west of Toms River. And more like the city for me, the low is only 59 in Central Park. So, because again, I'm living in a concrete jungle. Anyway, let's talk about some of these low humidities that occurred today. We're going to go over some of these observations here. We'll go look at Islip first. Because, yeah, it said minimum humidity 16% there. So you can see the condition. Things are very dry out there. We had some haze in the morning, and then the blue sky came in a little bit later. See, the haze is starting to clear out around 1:30 here. I caught, if you put that video up, you'll see I took it on a nice, beautiful walk there. You'll see toward the end, late in the afternoon, we had some cirrus coming on in. And then we had cirrus making for a pretty sunset, actually, this evening. And then we also look at the moon here. Look at there's still, if you looked off to the south and east, still some of the effects of the smoke there. But we had very low humidities today. This is the concern during some times of the day today. We had humidities get down into the teens. So in the afternoon, the humidities dropped down into the teens here. With dew points, again, temperatures were in the mid-70s, dew points were in the upper 20s, giving very low humidity, and there was some breezes. So didn't hear about any wildfires today, which is a miracle, I guess, but it was dry. I was walking in Connecticut, and one of those, one of the maintenance vehicles was driving down the road there, the dirt road, and we were stirring up a lot of dust. So things have dried out, again, very quickly with this low humidity, and we had all that wind yesterday. So that's why I'm a little concerned about an elevated fire risk for tomorrow. And the humidity may have even been lower in Jersey, perhaps. We'll see how low it got in Toms River. Let's see minimum, or they don't keep track of minimum humidity there, I guess. So we'll just have to look and see what we got here. Wait for that to load here and see what the humidity got down to over there. Let's see. Not quite as low here. The dew points were not nearly as low there. So, but you can see it did get into the 80s. That dropped the relative humidity down to the upper 20s. So still pretty low, but not as low as Long Island. We had humidity in the teens, which is very uncommon. Not that common to have relative humidity that low, indeed. And if we went and go and look at our climate reports. Oh, now it's not working. Great. See, we'll try it again. There we go. High of 78. That's 11 degrees above normal. Low of 50. That's only 1 degree above normal, but still put us 6 degrees above normal for the day. Continuing, even though we've had this front come through, we thought cooler air was going to come into the scene. Today, it never really did, so the humidity was very, very low. So that's the concern. So going into tomorrow, we'll just show you the satellite as well from today, the long satellite loop, which I'll show you as well. And you'll see here, we do have these high clouds. This is a storm that's parked over the southeast. You see how the smoke kind of gets pushed down a little bit throughout the day, but you can see how the high clouds kind of surged up during later in the afternoon there a little bit. And it looks like maybe a little bit of smoke off to the west, but not as much as it wasn't that thick, but it was noticeable. You could see in the early when the satellite just started there, you could see the smoke kind of get, again, pushed off to the south. And this storm, by the way, is a storm over the southeast that's kind of been sitting there, parked there. It's causing a lot of heavy rain in Florida and the southeast. You got another cutoff flow over here. You can see some of the smoke around it, too, as well. And that has resulted in, and there's been a lot of heat. And we're going to talk about that a little more tomorrow night because we'll have to go over the weather for this next storm system that we've got. But there's been a lot of heat that has been building in the center part of the country. And actually, I want to go to back to the weather and hazards map, kind of show you this. You notice there are red flag warnings out as well. And it looks like maybe one severe thunderstorm watch and maybe a tornado warning right in there. Is that a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning or whatever in there? So there are some thunderstorms, but there's not going to be a whole lot of rain from them, and that could spark new fires in this area. If we go and look at the temperatures today in this area here, you'll see they got into the North Dakotas well into the 90s, even going up into in Canada a little bit. You got 80s, so this is the way the heat's going to build. They've had very hot temperatures in Minot in North Dakota got up to 99 today. So very unusual heat. That's only going to worsen the wildfire situation. If we look at Fargo, they got up to 95 today. So very, very hot for that area. And they've been dealing with heat for the past couple of days here. Let's see, May 10th. Yeah, they were a little cooler on May 10th, but May 9th. All right, I think that heat was today, I think. So the heat, they were said today. So this is the first day of the heat wave. We're going to talk about this tomorrow, even though it doesn't quite affect that. Look at that, 100 degrees in Hallock Municipal Airport. So this is the kind of heat going on. So it's important that we talk about it because we got this big ridge over here. So let's go talk about, that's the reason why we had the fires. That's why the fires are ongoing over there, and it's going to be an issue. But our concern is the low humidity for one more day. So that high pressure stays in control for one more day. We'll talk about the weather alert for the precipitation tomorrow night. But we're going to go and take a look at the humidity levels for tomorrow. And I'm going to go to the HRRR first as well. Winds do become more easterly. That's the other thing that happened today. We did have a sea breeze developed. So if we, I guess I got to put the weather and hazards map back. Maybe I don't. If we look at the observations for islip, you'll see that we had northeast wind, and then it went to calm. But I guess maybe they didn't get the sea breeze over there. But go a little further west, Farmingdale, I think, did. So let's see. No, north of 3. Yeah, there it was. So you can see what happened here. Right around in the afternoon, the wind shifted to the south. So western parts of Long Island, they did develop a sea breeze due to the... wasn't a strong sea breeze, but it was enough to knock the temperatures down by quite a bit, actually. So let's go and go to the models here. Look at these dew points and wind flows. Tonight will probably be cool again, unless you're obviously where I live. I got to keep the AC on. But you'll see the east winds. The humidity still stays low, fairly low tomorrow. So we still have very low humidity. So not a lot of wind, but still, when you have low humidity, things are dry. And just, I'm not saying we need a red flag warning or anything like that, but just elevated fire risk, I would say. And then the air moistens up as we head past tomorrow night. And we'll have that more humid air coming with the rain chances. But we're still going to see, again, the big diurnal range in temperature, low humidity. That helps dry things out, dry vegetation out. So, again, you see lows probably going to be in the 40s in the Pine Barrens tonight, maybe even colder than that. Around 50 everywhere else. And if you're in an urban hellhole like me or in the middle of the inner city, you'll be lucky to get down to 60 degrees. And then for tomorrow, you can see it's going to be pretty hot inland and cooler at the coast. There'll be more of a sea breeze tomorrow. It'll keep things cooler on the coast, but still pretty hot inland. And again, that's the concern of the humidity, obviously. And there'll still be plenty of sunshine. We'll go look at the RGEM for the skies. We will have to watch for some high clouds. Let's take a look at this. You'll see some high clouds kind of streaming in, mostly toward the afternoon, I think. And they're going to be pretty thin. So still have plenty of sun. That's going to help dry things out, too. So, wind to sky. We can look at the actual relative humidity here, right? You can see it's still relatively low right now, but as we go into tomorrow, it's probably going to drop again. Actually, no, we're on Sunday. I got to move this into Monday. Yeah, it's still pretty low. It's showing 20% humidity. So, I say elevated fire risk for tomorrow. So, there may be some small even though we've had rain, the ground dries out very quick, and we still have very low humidity tomorrow. So unless you're right at the coast, the humidity is going to be pretty low, and so there could be some wildfire risk tomorrow. Again, wouldn't say it's high, but it's going to be elevated. All right. So that is all I got for you tonight. We're going to talk more about another freaking cutoff low that we're going to be dealing with. That's going to make at least a large part of this upcoming week dreary again. So get out there and enjoy the sunshine tomorrow. Have a good night.